Special good evening, Trinidad and Tobago. It is Tuesday, 20th of February. And we have some conversations that are overdue to be had. And I need to get us on the inside. I need to see who's here. We bang on 8 o'clock or 1 minute past 8. We'll make it back up while we're waiting on everybody to come. Play our music. Yeah?
Shine out in this country. This ain't no fun when cases are won. We must feel that justice is done. It must be. Don't care how big, don't care how small. The law should be there for all. But if judges taking bribe to throw your case outside, then the law is on us. If when your case is called, no papers at all, then the law is on us. If policemen indeed selling and smoking weed, then the law is on us. And if the brilliant AG let all these things pass, we know
the law is on us.
Yes, if the brilliant AG let all these things pass, we know the law is on us. Starting lawyers real sweet, taking money and not appearing. Some so bold-faced, they don't even prepare your case. I am afraid once they get paid, you could hang, they don't have it made. Is only call me SC, PC, no QC, and a ton loader, WC. If it is West, North and South, them barrister have tout, then the law is on us. If they win in cases by coaching witnesses to lie, then the law is on us. If it's them who really say Fenton Rams Ahoy can't stay, then the law is on us. And if the law society let these things pass, we know the law is on us. Yes, if the law society let these things pass, we know the law is on us. One lady said, oh, what permanent was improper. Chief Justice said, that ain't true, she's out of order. Hear what I say, one of them is a damn liar. It chillin' me spine, the law must be blind. Up to now, none of them resign. Tell me why, that is the scum. The law has become only scandalum magnatum. If the taxpayer get nailed, cause on the jail ramish tail, then the law is on us. If Payol in Lafayette, Coast Guard plane and shoot none yet, then the law is on us. If the ombudsman pretends he can walk without a Benz, then the law is on us. And if higher tally let all these things pass, we know the law is on us. Yes, if higher tally don't fix these things fast, we will know the law is on us.
You're supposed to be sharing the video, right? Share it up now. Share it up, share it up, share it up. We're on the inside, I'm waiting for the numbers, and I preparing and I sharing. So we're running a little late, and let me just make it back up now. Tuesday, 20th of February.
So that wherever you, wherever they are,
so wrong, man. That's a bastard.
With gasoline, all your city. But no, we jamming still.
What is cabinet say? What is cabinet say?
We jamming still.
What to do with Trinidad and them?
Just hold them and walk them. 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 Just hold them and walk them. 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 No, we don't business. Oh, no, we don't business. Put your tongue like you don't business. Put your tongue like you don't business. Free up like you don't business. Free up like you don't business. Oh, no, we don't business. Oh, no, we don't business.
Recession.
No matter we promote a set, and you must see how we go party to the full extreme.
I like it up.
With kerosene, put on the treasury. Put on go, we jamming still. Economy, put fall down. We jamming still.
That's where we reach, we jamming still, nobody know what's going on, nobody care to know what's going on, we jamming still. And people who giving me talks about how I talk is the same people who have no problem with Catman. What she could do? She could something. She could bark at my dog, I go ignore she cat. All the women in the country are like golf courses. They need regular grooming or they will be ruined. Catman, Ravina boyfriend, the father of four, claimer of two. The same sycophants that don't mind that gain me pressure. All you know, miss me with that. I'm trying to get, it's 2018. And I'm trying to get more gentle. But Trinidadians know, they know, if they have one person speaking for the people, it is Phillip Alexander. I want to put something in the public space. There is something called the Judicial Review Act. Lord have mercy. The man say, Father, anyway, let me not go down there because I see Rowley lawyer coming up. That man, he aiming wide, boy. He aiming wide. He couldn't find Brian Stone. So he put an ad in the paper. The man put an ad in the paper, the whole High Court action. Coming in at easy, you know. You're mining a rich vein there, boy. And all them PNM muckum flow. You're running interference. Michael Commoner invented the pre-action protocol. Trinidad still laughing. But it is not a laughing matter. We're dealing with that. The law is an ass. Michael Commoner sent a radio station a pre-action protocol letter because he heard they're going and talk about HTC. So he panicked because what Randall Mitchell involved in that could have Randall Mitchell jump out himself and hire Michael Commoner and tell him, watch that, go and tell him, the guy is legit, you know. What you do, Mitchell? What did you do, Randall Mitchell, that make you have to head them off at the pass? Michael Commoner told the radio station, we will be listening and recording. What the hell is this? Did we drop the red, white, and black and raise the Chinese flag? It is time to run these mocking pretenders out of town. It is listen now, you see when Manning, all your PNM people, all you had pelt Manning with rotten mango, all you pelt the wrong man. All you pelt the wrong man. But hear me now, the law is an ass. Judicial Review Act, an act to provide for an application to the High Court of the Supreme Court of Judicature for relief by way of judicial review and for related matters. Now that sounds like a lot of nothing, but we now need to go to the Supreme Court and maybe, and I don't know if we will get relief, but everybody that Michael Commoner is running interference with, abusing this defamation statute, but we'll come to that because we need to seek judicial review, and I'll tell you why. Free speech is guaranteed by the Constitution. You cannot just sue a man. There has to be a bar. You see, police can't just go and arrest you without due probable cause and evidence. And if that is the bar for criminal matters, how did civil matters become, but you just take that man in court, tie him up in court, make him spend money and gag him? We need judicial review. That entire law needs reviewing, and we have to deal with that. So I want you to stick a pin in judicial review. But today we're talking about the lawyers and us, because they have some things you ain't getting away from. You ain't getting away from. When I tell you yesterday, and I will read it in the news, but I want you to hear this first. I want you to hear this first. Somebody say no picture or sound. They're jamming me from early, Faris. Faris, take your hand out my pants pockets now, man. Let me talk now, Faris. I see they send PNM mouthpiece Stuart Young to say that the riots in East Port of Spain is testimony of the need for the anti-gang bill. Why, Stuarty? You need to be able to go and herd them little black hen chicken, and that's what you need to do. You ain't need law. You don't need probable cause. Just lock them mother ass up, and Stuarty boy. That's the kind of lawyer you are, and you and Faris. Just, but you see them when they plait up here and they gold teeth and they pants by the bamsey. Lock them mother ass up, and Stuarty boy. And that's the kind of law you want to practice. We will deal with you all in the ballot, in the voting booth. We will vote you all into oblivion. You, Stuart Young, you balancing at the wake, the PNM dead. When this election done, they have no resuscitating what left of the PNM, you know. Balize, we must find every Balize plant in this country and chop it down to the root, throw grammar zone on what left and light a fire. Balize mustn't bear fruit in this country again. They must pass and see Balize House as a Chinese restaurant. Shrimp fried rice special today. We must vote the PNM into the dustbin of history. We must stand up outside Balize House and piss on the wall. Trinidadians must vent the spleen and the nastiness. I post a picture today of Singapore. Singapore. A sycophant come and say, but I surely access gate, and I surely $3 trillion pay for gate, brother. Come now, man. Come now, man. Don't be a muppet, don't be a puppet, don't be a fool. Have some decency and some freaking self-respect. Singapore start same time as we, and Singapore never had oil. The place beautiful. You can eat off the ground. You can eat off the ground. You can't take off your clothes and whine on a bumsy. But I don't think that taking off your clothes and whining on a bumsy really benefiting we. But I just point that out there. I know they have people who taking off their clothes and whining on a bumsy. That's important to them. It's more important to them than law and order and a proper run social fabric and a proper run country. It's a trade-off. A good country to live in. We are safe. I can afford food. My jobs, I have access to a job. The buses run on time. Healthcare is perfect. Education is perfect. I can have that. Or I could take off my clothes in town 2 days out of the year and whine on a bumsy. Because, let me tell you something. If I live 100 years, every single year, I don't care if Marshall reach with one of them colonoscopy bag, dragging his foot, no teeth in his mouth, bald head, all the rasta, all them things fall out his head. He had no teeth left. He dragging. I just need to hear him trying for a whore. And I'm good. You could keep all the other things. You could keep education that works. Just give me a whore. And the jackassery of the jackasses who uphold the bullshitocracy of this country need to go and light a candle in the church and beg for forgiveness. Father in heaven, we didn't commit the crime. We didn't stick the gun in the face. We didn't rape, plunder, and pillage. But we drove the getaway car. We picked the lock and we drove the getaway car. Father in heaven, we are on our knees. Bless we, forgive we. We didn't know that the PNM was stink and dirty so, but all you lie. Because the PNM, every chance you give them to show them their true colors, they show you. Go Santa Cruz and ask to see deeds and see how the PNM, ask how the PNM, two ministers end up owning the two mountains that make up Santa Cruz. Everybody who buying land in Santa Cruz today, buying land from one of the double M's. The real double M's, not Marshall Montano, the percentile money. And somebody told me that I had to laugh. Because I'm saying this, you see, to all my black brothers and sisters who celebrating Black Panther, I want to tell you what the real celebration will be. You see the white people who own Marvel, them laughing all the way to the bank, you know, because Black Panther obliterate the box office on all you're thinking that somehow this is a civil rights thing. But this is money in the bank. And look out, right now, Black Superman, Black Hulk, and Black Spider-Man in the works. Because if this is how what it will take for you all to empty your pockets for foolishness, plenty more foolishness to come. And I want to say those things. Because I know some of y'all, it is itchy, too abrasive. What the hell wrong with this man? Don't tell me the truth, now, man. Give us reassuring lies. How could I do that? A little boy leave Tobago, 9 years old. He 2 knees knocking. He ain't no way going in life. He's still not sure to remove the yampy out the eyes. He busy frotting it and he landed in America. And over the course of his development as an American, he became an actor. And as an actor in America, he became a star. He got a big role. And Tobagonians and Trinidadians beating their chest and claiming him half a Guyana in the same film, you know. In the same freaking film. We have one, them get 20. And I'm not knocking it for spite. You know why I vex? I vex because these same people don't understand how many Tobagonians and Trinidadians with real artistic ability catching the mother ass and have nowhere to go. $163 million was budgeted for the National Academy for the Performing Arts. You hear the name of NAPA, National Academy for the Performing Arts. They said it was too nice to not do twice. Do it thrice. Get them a NAPA, a SAPA, and a TAPA. You have 3. All 3 closed down. $1 billion gone. But we celebrated. Winston Duke, he jumped on a Caribbean Airlines plane, land in America, and make himself a star. His family didn't abandon Tobago. His father didn't say, you see the shit, it's not working. This place is a mess. I can't let my little child grow up in this country and suffer. I will take him to a developed nation. And in that developed nation, he became a star. I told people Saturday, I don't want to call the girls' names on my live video. They could claim it if they want. They had 2 girls, friends of mine. There's a space between girls and friends. Friends of mine that I knew when they were in Trinidad. I think one came back. 2 sisters, gorgeous. Gorgeous girls. Brilliant. Brilliant. But in Trinidad, all they could get was, when it pours you rain, put them in some tight vest to show off their assets and wet them. Go and give away Carib and Johnny Walker black shots, like 2 ass. Both of them get a chance out of Trinidad and Tobago. One is a published author, the other one came first in criminology on planet Earth. In Trinidad, all that was available to them was promo girls. For the madam in charge of all the promo girls to try and rent them out to foreign dignitaries and the well-heeled. Yeah, that has happened in Trinidad too. A strain. The name of the show is The Lawyers and Ass. And I read today, I'll take it in an order. I read today the 10th law. And you need to read the 10th law. Because the 10th law, so stupid, it beyond stupid. This is the 10th law. The motor vehicle, and listen to me, what I am about to read, Phillip Edward Alexander didn't make this up. This is put out by MOUT, Ministry of Works and Transport, MOUT. The Motor Vehicle and Road Traffic Act 4850, Section 23, 1D states that no motor vehicle, the windscreen or any other window of which is fitted with glass so tinted and treated or darkened as to obscure the view of inside the vehicle from the outside. Sounds rational. Therefore, this is where it becomes a problem. The first part sounds rational, I agree. I don't like when people tint all the inside of the windscreen. When they pass you the car, the window black like the car black. You can't see inside nothing. And I agree. The first part, I read it again. The Motor Vehicle and Road Traffic Act 4850, Section 23, 1D, you could find it yourself, states that no motor vehicle, the windscreen or any other window of which is fitted with glass so tinted, treated or darkened as to obscure the view of the inside the vehicle from the outside. The view of the inside of the vehicle from the outside. Therefore, and in Trinidad, therefore, is a fancy way of saying but. And but is never a good word. Anytime you hear but, you're in trouble. Nobody ever says, you're the crappiest worker in the factory, but look a raise. A woman never tell a man, honey, I ain't feeling this anymore, you know. But let's stay together for the next 2 years. But is always followed by bad news. Therefore, it's a fancy but. Therefore, this is actually written in the law. And you know what astounds and confounds me? Big men and women, QC, SC, MC, and more degree than a thermometer, sat down in the parliament and voted aye. Nobody said, but this sounds like the rules of a jackass race. This don't sound like a law. This actually sounds like the rules of a jackass race. Because here what follows, therefore. The determination regarding tinted vehicles is based on the discretion of licensing and police officers, as the law does not specify tint percentage. Well, we're in trouble. Because if a licensing office pull you over and you have cataract, you're in trouble. If a police officer pull you over and you look like the fella he see driving away from by his girlfriend last night, you're in trouble. You barely have any tint at all, but his discretion say, too dark, take it off your car or take a ticket and go and fight up in the court. Trinidadians just come on Facebook and say, the mothers are fighting this, are going in the court, this cat. And the first day you reach and you sit down in a Trinidad court and you see the living example of molasses trying to run uphill, you say, nah, man. You sit down for 5 hours, 6 hours, take a break to pee. If they call my name, shout for me. It doesn't work. It does not work. It is on life support. Our justice system is non-functional, dysfunctional, malfunctional, barely functional. Choose one. And there is nobody in this country with enough brain to say, let us stop it here. Everything that before, deal with it as a cold case. Going forward, let us set up a proper system with case management and rules. For example, put a clock on every case that comes before the court that says, and this is important, and I propose this, but as the government is so busy stealing PEP policies, look for this soon, because somebody just called to tell me they announced our prisoner reform program on TV6 tonight. So that means they're very interested in learning. So hopefully they learn this one too. Case management law should stipulate, which is a very fancy way of saying we really state, we stipulate that all civil matters must be concluded within 3 years or less. And all criminal matters must be concluded within 5 years or less, or they be thrown out of court. One day, more than 3 years, the civil matter is quashed. Quashed is the English way of saying squashed without the S. It sounds like they really meant it. We'll quash it. One day, more than 5 years for criminal matter, it is equally quashed, thrown out, tear up the paper, we fail. The matter did not conclude, go your way. And there is a reason for that. There are people watching this video right now who may not know that in Trinidad and Tobago, a while ago, one of the biggest chains of department stores in this country was called, actually there were two. There was Stevens and there was J.T. Johnson. And the two of them merged and became Stevens and Johnson's. A lot of you may not be aware that where Excellent Stores is now used to be Woolworth, and they used to have a Kirpalani's, and they used to have Stevens and Johnson's, and Ross Drugs is what we used to have before there was a super farm. There was actually life before the 1%. But the point I'm trying to make to you is this. There are people watching this video now who have no clue what a Stevens and Johnson's is. And last year, a case concluded 25 years before the court for a man who broke into Stevens and Johnson's. Now that is an insanity without measure. That have no cure. You cannot have a breaking and entry matter before a court for 25 years, and I'll tell you why. Because the maximum the law allows the judge to penalize that guy is a quarter of that or less. So he's already spent 4 times more than the law allows dealing with that matter. This one is not funny. A woman was raped inside a police station by the senior police officer in that station. And her matter took 17 years. That is an insanity without measure. If you ever go to a court in Trinidad and Tobago and watch, because it's like a trip through time, you know. When you go into the Hall of Justice, as you climb each step, you know in the movies you see the pages of the calendars falling away? Because you walk into the courtroom and you reach the Mallards, because I want to tell you something, it's all theater. It serves no purpose. It's, let's be British and copy them. Let's talk like them. Let's act like them. Nobody sat down and say, how do we get this to actually function? Because it doesn't work. And they write everything longhand. Slow down. Slow down. You can't speak too fast. Everybody speaks very deliberately, clearly, using professional judicial language, enunciated eloquently, so that everybody wake people up who fall asleep behind it. That's how it sounds. In this country, nobody has thought to say to the judges, we will manage you. Because in this country, they have certain professions that if you get it, is a king. In a democracy, that is a republic. For some reason, we lose our way when we put all of the intelligent people, supposedly, in the parliament and we tell them, oh, they make the rules. Because it's not working. Now think about this. You're in a criminal matter. The lawyer stands up and he says, Your Honor, the police officer who was supposed to be here to give evidence, he's not here. We've been waiting. The judge issues a bench warrant to the police in charge. Go and arrest Sergeant so-and-so and bring him before the court. Because he has a matter here today and he knows his presence is required. Go and arrest him and bring him here. Now, Sergeant so-and-so will get a call. Bro, judge issue a bench warrant for you, you know. I am on my way. All of a sudden, because that mallard, the sergeant is not present, well, we will have to postpone. What does the other side think? You agree? Yes, my lord, we are in agreement. All right, let's look at the docket. I have next February. We march, you know. I have next February. I sat down in a court for an appeal. I watched a guy, he was in jail for a whole year. And the first hearing of his appeal came up. And he don't know how to get a lawyer. He stand up there by himself. And I'm watching this, and I'm thinking, how does all of this money and all of this pomp and theater not represent this poor guy, barely literate, old, elderly Indian guy, standing up there, and he don't understand the system, but he's in prison. And he's already in prison for a year. And this is the first hearing of his appeal. Coming back to this, you in March, and the docket says the next available time for this hearing is next year, April. All because the sergeant didn't show up. Now, if that judge knew that a clock is running, and he checks, he asks the clerk, how much time have we been at this case? My lord, we've been at it 4 years and 2 months. We have about 10 months left. And the judge looks over and sees what is required to finish this case, and he tells him, go and arrest Sergeant and bring him here. Move on with the case until Sergeant comes, call your next witness. Send to arrest Sergeant. We're not leaving this court. I'll tell you why. Because when you put case management rules, 3 years for civil matters and 5 years for criminal matters, you tell the judges, if too many of your cases get tossed for faulty case management, we are going to have to relieve you of the responsibility. And I need you to understand that that becomes a system that works, that is accountable to everybody. We live in a country where every level of the judiciary, of the magistracy, the director of public prosecutions, the president, and the prime minister know what I'm about to tell you. The leader of the opposition knows. All past attorneys general who are still alive, all, we have any presidents still alive? Everybody, every practicing lawyer worth their salt know what I'm about to tell you again. There are people in our prisons convicted of nothing, but are stuck there because their matters are continuing and they cannot afford bail. So every mallard takes another year off their lives, convicted of nothing. Now I know, when it comes to our managing of the country, if they cut a hair or the gold teeth or the pants from their ass, you see Faris when he say if you can't explain your wealth, I come in to take your property, I hope he mean Goodwood Park Hill. Because half of Goodwood Park Hill can't explain the wealth. How you come to own a $50 million house? There is an ex-minister that I put on blast in 1 year, buy 2 houses and renovating both to the tune of $55 million. Now what the hell? And one of those houses was bought from he is UNC. He buy a house for $60 million from a PNM supporter, financier, backer, through a contractor who write 3 checks for $60 million. And he getting contracts from PNM and UNC. And I want to take an aside to tell you, if you all still think that the bullshit theater that you see between Monilal and Imbut and Rowley and Kamla and Ramlogan and Faris, if you think that bullshit is real, I want you to understand, you live in a country where the PNM and the UNC together ganged up to prevent a school from opening in Maraba. Big names, big names called. Sitting, massive names, all of the biggest of the wigs, PNM and UNC. And this little school, Arbor School, had to fight all of them. And the only court they didn't take them people into is tennis court. They had them everywhere. Everywhere. At that time, Romper Man, Darrell Smith, the first of his name, Groper Man, he was the chairman of the Diego Martin Regional Corporation. There was a picture of him standing up in a school, handing out awards where everything falling down around him. But they refused our school for not labeling a panel or some bullshit. anything that they could do to use the power of state. Our school went and opened itself in a place where UNC/PNM/COP financier used to sell alcohol as a bar. And apparently, that's okay for the community, but a school might suck ass. And if you for a minute still believe that that circus that's going on in the parliament, you see, it took me 6 months of jamming Rowley until it pushed them to admit, okay, fine, Maxi brain dead, we ain't know the ass going on with he, and yes, we spending the money. Yes, I spent $2.5 million on my daughter father-in-law. Yes, I do it. What do you want to do? And all of a sudden, the UNC start asking questions. But before, because people are asking, Mr. Phillip, you is the opposition. Where is the opposition? Be on the lookout. We put out a be on the lookout. Like we put out a be on the lookout for Sunati Maraj. Be on the lookout for Rhoda Barrett. Those two who jammed Kamona for his wife, mother, and Kamla for his sister, ain't saying nothing about Rowley daughter, father-in-law. $2.5 million that he admit to, that son of a bitch. That jackass. Keep Christopher Mugabe Sabga Rowley. First black Syrian. Take $2.5 million that he admit to and pay a bill that he does not have any authority to do. We are in dark and murky water in this country. Every single day, I ask all the intelligent people I know, I'm doing a running poll. If you had a chance to go somewhere that works, take your family and go, would you go? The answer is always, hell yeah. I go, no. Trinidad is the most beautiful island country nation on planet Earth. There will never be a better country than Trinidad and Tobago. All the other countries that work, that do well, are working and doing well and doing their best. Trinidad naturally is the most beautiful country in the world. But we're messed up by failed systems deliberately enacted to keep our people subjugated and broken. The law is an ass. We have a charge called annoying language, what people think is the obscene language charge. And a police officer again determines what annoys him. Oregano, you see that word? That annoys me. If I was a police officer and you use the word oregano, I could lock you up. Because there's no list that says all the words that are against the law. So it's up to the man. Oregano. I have been asking, who is the son of a bitch that put that S in the word lisp? That makes it impossible for people who have a lisp to say they have a lisp. That's a charge. That should be a charge. The person who thought it funny to write the word abbreviation so long, why should that word be, that's a charge. That annoys me. Charge the man who put the S in lisp. A person with a lisp can't say, I have a lisp. And the first word that many people learn to abbreviate is the word abbreviate. Because they can't spell it. How much B, how much R, how much E, R? Don't have a V in there somewhere. Annoying language is a charge. But it's open to the discretion of everybody. And if I was a police officer, I would be charging people for stupid words. Just to take it before the court and see what the court say. Your Honor, this man is charged with using the words elbow, handkerchief, and lunch kit. And they annoyed me. Tell me, the law is an ass. We need to get into government and sit down with the laws of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago and throw away, repeal, cancel, undo all that do not work. Those that are functional but written nonsensical, like the Tint Law, like it is against the Summary Offences Act in this country to kick a tree. And I am, again, if I was a police officer, don't kick a tree if I am wrong. Because I will know all my laws. You can't fly a kite in town. If you fly a kite in town, you get charged. And this is Trinidad and Tobago. Not one of your political parties, and all of them just rush to get themselves senior counsel. I want to tell you something. Al-Baghdadi coming out of their SC, you know, you can't wait. Can't wait. Oh God, none of them young girls like that. As a SC, they know what it means, but oh God, take me for a drive. All of them rush to make themselves senior counsel. Not one of them sit down to say, okay, let's make the laws functional. Let's make the courts functional. Let's make law enforcement functional while simultaneously fixing the social fabric of the country. I want you to hear this. Because they're my partner. All you know, me and Fazir is friend, long time friend, pitch marble in the river, catch wabi in together.
Terms of it, right? Because according to how it was presented in the parliament, when Rida Tiwari get up and ask the Prime Minister as to whether or not there are ISIS cells in Trinidad and Tobago. The Express has it on page 3. So the Prime, maybe he's getting lessons from the Attorney General. Because he ramble, and ramble a little more. Before he eventually said, and the answer to the question is yes. Right? So,
Fazil, this morning, who took me to task for calling Keith Rowley, first black Syrian, a jackass, put a saddle on Faris' back and rode him around the room for the nation to see.
If it is that the AG is presenting things in a different way, I don't know. But talking to the AG or listening to the AG is going on an exercise bike. You run it.
Fazil want to say Faris is a jackass. But Fazil know, I own that word now. I could say it. Fazil say talking to Faris Al-Rawi is like riding on an exercise bike. It make you feel like you're doing something, but you ain't getting nowhere.
You're exercising, and you ain't going nowhere. Right? Listening to the AG or interacting with the AG is like going on a treadmill.
The man called Faris a jackass, but he didn't use the word jackass. I, in the abundance of respect for the rules of time, could tell you Groomer Man, Catman, the first of his kind, is a jackass. But I could tell you why. I could tell you what about him underpins the rules of jackassery. Fazil recognized the jackassery of Faris Al-Rawi today. But Fazil can't say jackass.
You're going, and then when you stop, you realize you didn't go anywhere.
Talking to Faris is like running on a treadmill. Fazil Mohammed told the nation today, your Attorney General, Faris Al-Rawi, is a jackass.
Waste a lot of time.
Waste a lot of time.
Because, you can use all the fancy. Yesterday in the news, they asked him a direct question. It's like me asking you,
he run out of analogies. Hear how Fazil going to tie up his whole self. Fazil Mohammed, my friend, brother. The man is a jackass. You could have saved yourself time. Everybody watching the show would have understood what you're trying to say because we know. Faris has not written one law that passed muster. Not muster means that it could do what you say it could do. If somebody make a hammer for you and you use the hammer to pound a nail and the hammer break, it ain't pass muster, they throw that hammer away. When they send laws, this government, this PNM government, writing laws and the judges throwing the laws out. It's like an assembly line.
Get to the Banlara promenade. And you say, okay, first you have to start by going to Icacos. And we go Galiota, Toko, and then take a boat across the Tobago, or Watson, you can pretend to swim all the way, and then come back.
Fazil want to say Watson Duke is a jackass. He said the man pretend to swim. Listen now, Fazil, that was like, you know, and Janice Lemon Cricket, the hardest working PRO, because you all have Janice defending my right to call these jackasses jackasses, but you're now coming to the realization that there's a jackass factory in this government.
Other side, the Shaka Shakari, and then when you reach, you're still in the wrong place. So, what I do understand is, I mean, it is so blatant.
Fazil nearly bite off his tongue. Watch him, fighting up, he can't find a word. Fazil, the word is jackass, if you're British, but it's jackass. So when you ask me on your show why I call the Prime Minister jackass, I say, you tell me one person in this country who do not think he's a jackass, and I know today, Fazil, you join them ranks.
This is the quotation. And the answer to the question is yes. So after the ramble, the answer to the question is yes. So where's the ambiguity? Where is when the AG puts his stamp on anything, that's the unmistakable stamp of long-winded ambiguity.
When the AG puts his stamp on anything, it is the undisputable stamp of long-winded ambiguity. Didn't Fazil just say Faris is a jackass? Isn't that what he just said another way? Come now, man, Fazil.
The stamp is so then the media get confused. Because you don't want to be seen to be contradicting the Attorney General of Trinidad and Tobago, right? You don't want to be seen to be saying, oh wait now, you're talking about bundle and nonsense.
The man say, the Attorney General talk a bundle of nonsense. Listen, I tell you, if he had said at the start of this whole thing, Faris Arao is a jackass. And you don't understand?
Right. And we're taking a long time to say nothing, right? Because after all the ramble, the Prime Minister said the answer to the question is yes.
Fazir Mohammed today told the nation that the Attorney General of the People's National Movement, this government, today cannot be trusted, that he is a liar. The media has admitted today, as of now, they have come out and said, you cannot take the Attorney General on his word. The former PRO of the PNM, did he lie them into office? Now PNM mouthpiece Stuart Young, he gets to jump up because Faris has to jump down. Let's play this game. You know this game they used to have in the carnivals where you hit these things and the heads pop out of the hole. I can't remember, they have a hammer. Anyway, that's how they play. Who in least disrepute talk right now? So people forget Stuart wife, wherever she was, pelty ass out in the road. People forget that. Stuart can talk now. Faris can't talk. Because Faris is now officially a jackass. As of today, the media of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago has said Faris is a jackass. I want you to know why that is going on. Where is the article? I have the article too. And I need you to hear that. Because, brother, today I post a picture, a video of the wrecker fight up to pull out a car behind a Mercedes Benz. Nothing in front of the Benz. Both of the cars breaking the law. It is all you're telling on yourself. It's all you're telling on yourself. I can't find the freaking thing now. Come now, man. The Newsday article. I go find it. Aha. This is how you tell when you're watching everybody line up at the starting gate. This is how you tell the jackasses from the racehorses. And you know what I'm loving? I love how the whole Maxi Coffee thing proved Phillip is savant. I love how the whole Tobago ferry thing proved Phillip Edward Alexander has long vision. I liken this one too. Attorney General Faris Al-Rawi yesterday denied the media reports which said Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley had confirmed the presence of Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, ISIS, cells in TNT. He said the Rowley statement on the issue during Friday's sitting of the House of Representatives was taken out of context. Last night I told you all about this, you know. But this morning Fazil called Faris a jackass. So that's the stamp of imprimatur. That's from the church. It means not only is it signed and sealed, it is blessed. I note the media has taken away the concept of an ISIS cell. I sat right next to the Prime Minister, and there were several questions put to him, and he gave general explanations. The Prime Minister didn't specifically state there is quote-unquote unconfirmed ISIS cells here. He told the Newsday. What the Prime Minister spoke about was the fact that Trinidad and Tobago is aware, and the world is aware, that people from Trinidad and Tobago have left and have gone and participated in activities, in Iraq and Syria activities. Lunch breaks, picnics, cinemas. Not fighting war, they've gone on little outings. And that the risk of people returning home is real. Therefore, we must treat the situation as if terror is real. This man just undress you, and he ain't touch your clothes yet, you know. The man he's a scientist. If anybody in Trinidad and Tobago is a bullshitologist, Faris Al-Rawi is a bullshitologist. So there's always a global exposure to things. So the Prime Minister did not say specifically, quote unquote, there is an ISIS cell. Al-Rawi's stance on the presence of ISIS cells in the country contradicted that of the PM, who, in response to a question from Caroni Central MP Dr. Boindarat Tiwari about the presence of ISIS cells or satellites, told the Parliament, Madam Speaker, it is common knowledge across the world, not only in Trinidad and Tobago, that citizens of Trinidad and Tobago subscribe to some of the doctrines of ISIS. And persons from Trinidad and Tobago have traveled to areas of combat in Iraq and Syria. Now, Faris didn't say combat. Faris was talking about picnics and going to the cinema. Maybe a game of hopscotch or two. Many of them have been intercepted in Turkey, in Britain. Some have returned to Trinidad and Tobago. Some are in custody in foreign countries. Persons who seek to join ISIS. And in fact, as ISIS has been dispersed in Iraq and Syria, that doctrine has now spread to homeland activities. And therefore, this is the first black Syrian talking. We have to be Ravina boyfriend. We have to be particularly concerned about the monitoring of such persons. It is an integral part of our national security. And the answer to the question is yes. Now, Faris, did the media misinterpret your interpretation of their misinterpretation? Because the Prime Minister seemed to have been straightforward, quote, the answer to your question is yes, unquote. So I ask you again, Faris Al-Rawi, aka Johnny Sukaran, did the media misinterpret your interpretation of their misinterpretation of the Prime Minister's interpretation of the situation? I will leave that right there. And I want to tell you something. The media waking up. The media waking up. I want to say a short prayer for Shelley Das. In the same week that she got demoted from head of news to a news editor, her business come out in the road. And I want to light a candle for her poor husband, who getting in trouble all over the world, fighting with all kind of different congressmen, senators, now in Trinidad a politician, because Shelley likes to get her interviews lying down. And I think that in Trinidad, in journalism school, because I hear a lot of them went to the same school, they have one driving a Benz that a lawyer gives she to drive. She all over town by talking the lawyer, but driving the Benz the lawyer buy for she. She's a journalist, and that's all she's do for a living. But she driving the lawyer Benz. Married man, but she's a paragon of integrity, ethics, character, morality in public affairs. I don't know how that works. If you're having an affair, how can you be moral? But anyway, somebody sent me a joke and I share it. They said they had a big protest because police killed Christmas. You could imagine what would have happened if they had killed Carnival. Yeah, I love Trinis though. Trinis have a good sense of humor. And I think they have an old saying, shit talk and cigarettes win the war. And I think that is our ability to talk shit that keeps us going. Because this country is so broken, it's come out on the other side. It's like we set out to be so. We no longer have to say, well, boy, we kind of broken. We are the best in the world at being a cesspool. The best. Somebody wrote a poem, and I edited that poem to include Trinidad. I'm going to read that poem to you now. It was done by a guy named Brian Bilston, and it is edited for our purposes by Phillip Edward Alexander, King in the North. Edited for our purposes by P. Somebody wrote this after the shooting in Florida. England is a cup of tea, France a wheel of ripened brie, Greece a short squat olive tree, America is a gun, and Trinidad is a cesspool. Brazil is football on the sand, Argentina Maradona's hand, Germany an Oompa band, America is a gun, and Trinidad is a cesspool. Holland is a wooden shoe, Hungary a goulash stew, Australia a kangaroo, America is a gun, and Trinidad is a cesspool. Japan is a thermal spring, Scotland is a highland fling, or better to be anything than America as a gun, or Trinidad as a cesspool. All of you watching me want to cuss my half-red mother ass, go through hard. I've learned to accept the love and the cuss that comes in equal doses. People see me, they hug me, they kiss me, they bring gifts for me. I get prayers. People send me WhatsApp messages. Philip, our family praying for you. All of us, we there, we with you, we love you. You are the saving grace of this country. You are the hope of our people. And then other people are going to tell me, why don't hush your friggin' mouth, Is that PNM education have you talking? Why don't hush up, And you're driving on PNM road, why don't hush up? And I think that. Powerfully cause. We didn't get here by accident. Somebody had to pick the lock. Somebody had to drive the getaway car. There is a saying, people who vote corrupt governments into office are not victims, they are accomplices.
If it is that who you're voting, well, beyond a doubt. When you're voting, vote them out. Vote them out.
With malice.
If it is the proven,
vote with contempt. When you're voting,
vote them out. Vote them out. If it is the time is now that change should come about, just as how you vote them in.
Clean up your mess.
Register and vote them out. If they don't see, vote them out. Stain your finger and vote them out. Show them no mercy.
No mercy.
Vote them out with total scorn.
You can't explain. Fire them. Take pride in the act. When they tell you put that ink on your finger, all up by your shoulder.
Let's put our country
You vote? If I vote,
together
I
again.
vote them mother ass out. Get ready. Be ready to fire red and red and yellow and steady. Be coiled like McAfee. Tell you, the days of the glorification of the bandits, the rapists, and the racists is almost at an end. Trinidad and Tobago is about to be reborn, to rise like a phoenix from the ashes. One people under one flag. Wait for it.
If for 30 years you voting them in,
And his only tears.
as soon as they win, they give you big words and enslave your souls,
Promising your roads
and giving potholes.
from the man.
If they are the reason why the economy won't sprout,
When you're voting,
vote them out, vote them out. If it is the passing laws
that them alone and King we could flout.
when you're voting, vote them out, vote them out. If it is the building I
Who wants to move on? $2 billion.
they say where you vote them in,
Waste your money.
vote them out.
Rumpa man tell you the stadium making money. For who? Just man? Vote them out.
State will finger,
Vote the entire pack and herd of jackasses out. Vote them out. That is your power and that is your responsibility to stand up and speak out. Have the courage of your conviction. Love your country enough to say that's it. Enough.
Together again.
This Saturday, 19 Stanmore Avenue at noon. I want to see 5,000 of y'all, Come out, come out. It is time, as Bob Marley said, to frighten them. Show them your numbers. Tell them, boy, if you fire me. Even if, you see how that woman police constable, you see that voice note she make? All them jackass that want to give she pressure in the police service. She had reached, you know what? Boy, fire me, boy. I'll go and learn how to put on weave and do people nails. This shit ain't worth it. To come and take all this bullshit from these stunting jackasses. These little dragged up watermarks and messes. She was right. She was absolutely right. Put them on blast. Put them on blast. These little jumped up stunting. Hey, it was a good night. Mellow out, Phillip. This Saturday, 19 Stanmore Avenue, come out in your thousands. It is time to frighten them. I don't care how much numbers the PNM pay to bring in La Hoqueta for their meeting on the 22nd of February. On the 10th of March, we must multiply it by 5. And we don't have no money to pay nobody to come. So they have a responsibility to come out and say it is time now that we fix this country. Some of you are already growing old. I tell somebody today in the gym, I said 10 years ago my father used to jump over walls and now he can barely walk. And I know that there is a certain amount of time left that I have to enjoy, to go and see the world and love up myself. Instead, here I am, fighting this fight. Fighting this. When people ask, how do we know that if you get their fill, you ain't gonna fill your pockets? Because I don't even want the job. I want less. All you who's watch me, all you watching me on video every night for a year and a half, all you know my entire wardrobe. You ever see me wearing any jewelry and all them bling shit? All you see what I just drive. It's not that I don't have money. It's like comfortable and I don't let my ego lead me. I cool. My hairstyle and my jeans always out of style. I know that and I okay. I wear sneakers till it wear down almost to the ankle band. I don't need to impress nobody. I learned a long time ago, if a girl dating me for my car, she ain't dating me, she dating my car. And I don't want that. I want all my love and selfish for me. And I'm telling you straight, I want you to get mannish. I want you to stand up. I want you to say enough of this bullshit now. This is not government. This is not leadership. This is not management. This is just jackassery and bullshit. You see how Fazir Muhammad reached today and called the AG a jackass? Get vexed. Every time you see them sue one of us and send that defamation letter, 1 million of you all share the same thing. Let me see them clog the court with a million matter. It is time to undo and redo the bullshit of Trinidad and Tobago. We must lower the red, white and black, put it in the washing machine, wash it, sweep out the parliaments and black disinfectant and bleach. We must start over sensibly, loving this country and all of the people, one people under one flag. We're not going to get there taking chain up. You suffer and you stress, and then all of a sudden you get a URP because election come in. Or they call a thing and say, look, HTC key. All of that, the Integrity Commission supposed to charge them for misbehaving in public office. All of a sudden, an inordinate amount of national resources goes into a constituency that is about to have an election. That is where police discretion is supposed to come in. Not on your tint, and if you're cussing. But this is the Royal Imperial Majestic Banana Republic of do what the hell you like land. And if you are comfortable planning your retirement as to how to run away from Trinidad, well. But if you think that you want to grow old here, because I said to somebody today, I said, migrating from Trinidad will be like a death to me. Leaving this country that I love so much, to never come back, will break my heart in a way that will never ever mend. I don't know how people do it. I love my country. I do this, all of this, not because I think I have a chance of winning public office. To be honest, in this racially divided country and voter-padded constituencies, I don't know if we have a chance. We are either going to fail miserably or succeed spectacularly. And I'm putting that in the hands of the gods. And you, at the end of the day, I will do everything I can to rescue and save my country. Because I want to grow old in Trinidad and Tobago. They say if you eat cascadura, you're supposed to dead here. And I used to love to eat cascadura as a little boy. We used to go fishing in the river for that. Anyway, back on point. peptrinbago@gmail.com. The Canadian people have something going on. Marissa Bash sent me the information and I can't find it. And I need to remind you. But something in Canada going on. I told you all about it last night. And Marissa, where you darling, if you could only come and post it on my wall right now so that the people could see it. Listen, every single day of my life, I want to make sure is the best day of my life. Because I have seen people, my friend who owned the gym, cancer, just get diagnosed, gone away looking for treatment. It's come like that. You have everything in the world going for you. He owns 6 gyms, beautiful children. One just get married, the other one getting married now. Life perfect. And you get the diagnosis. What you going to do? I just need to find this because Marissa will cuss now. And I can't find it. So, we're in a mess. I'll try and see if I'm spelling it right. No? Okay. So, Marissa Bash, Anil Maraj, Naz Gafoor, anybody from Canada, post it on my wall, please, so that people could see it. Marissa Bash, hello Toronto Peppers. There is a meeting for all members to attend on February 25th. Right, you see that? February 25th, reach out to Marissa Bash, post it again, all the things just scrolling and I can't read it fast enough. That's happening in Canada, the Toronto Peppers. I know the Florida Peppers organizing something. Ali G, the head of all the international Peppers, she just went back home. She's based in New York City. New York City is going to be doing something as well. We need to be raising funds and we need you all of you foreign-based Trinity Peppers, please help us. We need the money. Felicia Holder, the chairman of the party, contact Ali G, contact Carla Jean, contact Abigail, contact Marissa Bash, Anil Maraj, Naz Gafoor, contact Shari Wilson, the head of finance in Trinidad and Tobago. Dilwood Braffett, deputy political leader. Sarah Nabi, deputy political leader. Dilwood Braffett is national security advisor together with Richard Blaze. Sarah Nabi is head of the social outreach. We have team members everywhere for everything. You can reach out to whatever flavor pepper. works best for you. March the 10th, we mobilize and we are on an election footing. The Progressive Empowerment Party wants to win La Hoqueta Talparo and then go forward from there to win the general election and rescue this nation. That mission starts now. The people, the good people of La Hoqueta Talparo, you have the task now of saving Trinidad and Tobago. Put a pepper in the parliament. Game changed. peptrinbago@gmail.com, peptt.com, Pep app, the Pep app, PEP, APP, available in all app stores, free to download, 347-4PEP, that's the hotline. There's nothing else I could tell you other than stay safe, Trinidad and Tobago.